Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. Somebody told me that I say the same thing at the beginning of every show. I guess I do. It's easier to say the same thing than to try to think of something new. So there. We have a phone line open right now. There's the number up there on your screen that you can call. You can also email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. We'd like to hear from you by phone or by email, whichever works best for you. And I do believe someone's on the phone. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
What's going on, Ken? How you doing?
I'm doing good, Early Bird. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Well, I finally lucked up and won one, doesn't I?
Yes, you did. You've had a pretty good segment. You're not going to win it, but you've had a good, respectable segment here. A top 10, actually in the top 7. So you're doing okay.
Well, yeah, that's good. That's all right. Hey, look, Ken, have you heard anything about our Social Security checks? They supposed to don't tax it. We're supposed to get that money.
Yeah, that's in the law that just passed Congress. They're not going to end tax on Social Security benefits. They're not going to do that. But there is something in there. There's something in there that'll help you. They are giving you an addition to your standard deduction. Do you and your wife file jointly?
No.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter. You'll each get a deduction. Each of you will get an additional $6,000 on your standard deduction when you do your taxes. Now, that doesn't necessarily end the tax on your Social Security, but it does reduce your taxable income. And it may, for some people, it'll reduce them below the limit where Social Security taxes kick in. So it might save you from paying taxes on your Social Security. It will certainly reduce the taxes you pay on your Social Security.
So they'll do all that themselves?
I'm sorry.
We have to do that when we fill out taxes.
Well, whoever fills out your tax form, yeah, if you do your own taxes, but it'll be in the rules. You get the new tax form, there'll be a new set of instructions, and it will tell you that you can take an additional $6,000 in your standard deduction, $6,000 for you and $6,000 for your wife if you file separately.
Yeah. Okay. So if you file together, it'll just be 6,000, right?
No, if you file together, it'll be 12,000.
Oh, okay.
So it's 6,000 each, and on a joint return, that's 12,000.
Okay. What was I going to say? You dang it. That race. It's going to be in California, ain't it?
At Sonoma, out there in the wine country, another road race.
Another road. I can't take that other guy. I done took him last week. He won it for me. So
yeah, can't take him again.
I don't know if I want to take Soares or Chase Elliott. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott.
Okay. Early Bird takes the number 9 for Sonoma, and that's in the book.
Right on, kid. Well, I'll let you go. It's good talking to you.
Well, thanks, Early Bird. Good to hear from you.
You too, buddy. Thank you.
Good night. All right. About that $6,000 deduction, let me say something else about that, and I will in just a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Hello? Is anyone there? I don't think anybody's there. I'm going to hang up. Phone line is open. The number's on your screen. You can email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. That is all right, let's try again. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Good evening. Can you see us in Danville?
Yes, I made sure of that.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you're on that. You seem to have gotten that straightened out.
Yeah, somebody was gonna take a dump for y'all.
Take a dump. All right. Well, I'm glad we didn't have to go that far.
Oh, come on! It just have been in the Chicago River.
Well, there's enough junk in the Chicago River right now. They don't need any more of that.
No, it's not nothing in there. Everybody thinks there's something in there. It's not.
Well, if you say so.
I know. I've been through there.
You've been through the Chicago River.
Yeah, underneath. There's nothing there. It's clean as a whistle.
All right. Well, that's good news. Lots of people in Chicago will be happy to hear that.
Yes. Had to go to the emergency room this morning.
Oh, no. What happened?
Well, you ought to see the other fella. But no, I'm just joking. I found out what was wrong with my arm.
What's wrong with it?
I had gout.
Oh, gout. Oh, that really hurts, I'm told. That's really painful.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he gave me he gave me some medicine to take. Told me to take the medicine up, follow up with my doctor and all that. And the other two doctors thought it was my muscles, but it wasn't.
All right. Well, gout is, they can treat gout. It hurts, but in most cases they can treat it. So I hope that'll be okay.
It will. I don't know what I should say to my other two doctors, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to let it go.
Well, why don't do anything now. You just, have their licenses maybe revoked. Just something like that. Don't do anything drastic.
No, that'll be too easy.
All right. Well,
That would
I'm going to leave that up to you.
That would ruin my reputation in this town if I think I'm gone soft.
So does this problem with your arm, does that bother you at work?
Well, it's not bothering me. I had to have the ambulance come get me this morning.
Oh, good grief. You couldn't ride the moped.
Well, I didn't want to ride the scooter because it was bad. So I called them non-emergency number.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you got that diagnosed, and I hope it'll be okay soon.
Oh, I will be. Well, he did give me a note to stay out for 2 days, but I got to make a paycheck, man. I'm working. I got a 747 to, keep flying.
Well, I know 747s aren't cheap. You don't get sick days?
Well, I get Tuesdays and Thursdays off.
All right. But they told you to stay out of work for 2 days, though. You can't take a sick day one day?
No, you don't get paid for 6 days. For sick day.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to make money. That's my job right now. I'm going to make money until I retire.
All right.
Then I'm going to.
Okay, well, that's good. That's a reasonable approach. I hope you make a lot.
Well, I do. Oh, tell my friend if you hear from him tonight, the one I met a couple of months ago, tell him I got a coupon down here with me and his name on it to treat him out to dinner.
Oh, good. He'll be happy to hear that.
Well, I still got yours.
Don't lose it. Do not lose it.
Oh, I'm not. I got it in the safe.
All right.
Nobody goes in there, because if they do.
Just to be on the safe side, why don't you put it in the case with that Undertaker belt? So that's probably the safest place you can put it.
Well, I got the Undertaker's belt mounted on the wall. I mean, up here on the mantle so people come in and see it.
Oh, okay. So it's the first thing people see when they walk in then.
Yeah, it's the first thing they see when they come in where I live.
All right, good, excellent. I know it makes a strong first impression.
Oh yes, it does.
Okay.
Can't get it off your phone yet?
What was it? The picture? Yeah, I got the picture. I've seen it.
Oh yeah. Well, if you get a chance, show it to the others if you want to, and all that. But everybody have a good night.
Well, thank you. You too.
in seat tank.
Thanks for calling. Okay, Charles from Danville has gout. So now at least he knows the source of the discomfort. About that deduction, it's $6,000 added to the standard deduction. I'm thinking I may have said 4,000 last. I don't know that I did, but something in my head here tells me I said 4,000 last night. But it is 6,000. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I'm sorry to hear that Charles has got some medical problems.
Well, I guess looks like he's on the way to getting that cleared up.
Yeah, I hope so. I certainly do.
And I guess you heard him say that he's got another coupon with your name on it for a meal.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check him out. I certainly will before the week's out. No problem with that at all. I like Bojangles chicken. I do.
Don't let that coupon expire.
No, sir, not at all. I see where Netanyahu wants to nominate Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. Does he know how to kiss up to Trump or what?
Well, that certainly is going to improve his standing at the White House. He's not the first. There's also a congressman from Georgia has nominated President Trump for the Peace Prize. So that's two that we know of.
Yeah. Let me guess. Was he a Republican?
Yes.
Oh, well, how did I figure that?
Yeah, he was a Republican.
Yeah. I don't know, Ken. You know, there's a lot of countries that Netanyahu's not even allowed in. You know, he's been accused of doing war crimes in Gaza, and I can't blame those countries at all. The way he's sort of starved those people to death. You know, if that's not a war crime, what is?
Well, I doubt that Netanyahu will ever be tried for that. But probably the thing that Mr. Netanyahu needs to worry about most is his legal status in Israel, because they suspended all that, of course, after that awful attack by Hamas. But it hasn't ended, and that will be coming back to him at some point.
Well, I hope it does, Ken. I certainly do. I mean, I heard Trump make the statement yesterday or the day before that he thinks that all those criminal charges should be dropped against Netanyahu, so that's not a surprise either.
Well, he did say that. The president also said that if they put Netanyahu in jail, that I don't really think this would happen, but the president said that if they put Netanyahu in jail, he just might decide to withdraw all support for Israel. But I really would be surprised if that happened.
I would too, Ken. I'd really be shocked if that did happen. Well, see, we've got a ruling in Raleigh on this driver's license extension. Did you see about that?
Oh, you know, I've completely forgot about that. Did they pass that finally?
Yeah, they passed it, I want to say either yesterday or Monday last week, I think it was. But what I heard on News 2 was that it's only valid in the state of North Carolina. So if you cross the line, you know, you're still pretty much on your own.
Yeah, you are rolling the dice if you go to another state with an expired driver's license. I don't know what they might honor it. They might not. Probably be different in different states. But people need to bear that in mind. You're only home free in North Carolina.
Exactly. You know, I know how my luck would be. And, you know, like I don't live like, you know, where the crow maybe 3 miles away from Danville city limits, Ken. But I'm still trying to get mine. Hopefully I can before September. But hopefully the lines over there cleared out some. I'm going to try it again for the week's out.
Have you checked lately?
No, I was over there about 2 weeks ago, and you know, you couldn't hardly find a parking place. I went in, the lobby was full, the other part was full, and I scanned the thing, and I waited about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and they got another text said, if you'd like to leave, just text leave. So I finally did, and But it's, some people have been over there all day. You know, I went in around lunchtime. They still hadn't had any luck. So
Well,
at that time, it hadn't changed much.
well, so you got until September. You got a couple of months. I hope you
Yep.
get in.
Let me ask you this, Ken. Who's leading the points now in the race thing?
Mr. Leaksville is in first place, but this is close. This is the closest one we've had. Mr. Leaksville, it has 391 points. Mark from Mayodan is in second place with 389 points. So it's a 2-point margin from first to second right now. And then
Uh-huh.
you are in third place with 369. So you're 22 points back.
Has Mr. Leesville made a pick for the week?
Mr. Leaksville has picked the 5, and Mark from Mayodan has picked the 22. So
Okay.
that will inform you as to what you might want to do.
All right. I'm going to give it another thought. Maybe I'll holler at you tomorrow night about it.
All right. I'll be here.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks for calling. Phone line is open. The number is up there. You can email us at keneccleslive@gmail.com. Stuff blowing all over the place here. Let's check emails because there's some in there, I'm pretty sure. This one says, Ken, I want to know some more about the Social Security tax thing. So when I do my taxes, I will just claim another $12,000, $6,000 for me and $6,000 for my wife. Is that right? Yeah, that's right, and that'll be in your instructions when you get your form to do your taxes, or go online or wherever you go. All that'll be in the instructions. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Ken.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fair, I guess. I had an operation at UVA yesterday,
Oh,
and thank God above, I'm at home today. So,
well, I'm glad to hear. Thank God above indeed. How are you feeling?
I don't feel all that bad right now. A little bit painful from time to time. I've had this close to the same operation 3 or 4 times since January. I had a complete liver transplant, and they've had to go back in there 3 or 4 times and work on some stents and what have you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the next 6 months will be better than the last ones have.
Well, I hope so, and I'm sure you'll be in everybody's prayers.
Yes, sir. It's not. I really been telling people. I think that's all that's kept me here, Ken. Is people, a lot of people's thoughts and prayers, and people that care about you. They just don't let up. They just keep praying, and I thank them people so much. I'm from up here around the Martinsville area. Charles from Danville and Mark from Mayodan. A few of them know me. I'd like to say hi to them. And Charles, I hope your health problem gets better with your gout.
Well, I am so happy that you got home the day after the surgery. That's always a good thing, and I'm sure those prayers will continue.
Yes, sir. And thanks a lot, Ken. And it's good to talk to you again. You take care.
Well, you too. Keep us posted on how you're doing.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for calling. Phone line is up there. The number is up there. You can call and you can email us at keneccleslive@gmail.com. Anyway, when you do your taxes, basically it will tell you what your standard deduction is, and your standard deduction will be, if you're single, $6,000 more than it was before, and if you're married filing jointly, it'll be $12,000 more. So this is not something that you have to make yourself a note to remember to do. It'll all be there right in front of you. When you do your taxes, it'll ask you, do you want to take the standard deduction? And if you say yes, the additional standard deduction will be included there in the amount that they tell you to write down. Now, there was another question about it. I also would like to know how much money that will save me in my taxes. Can you make an estimate of that? Well, no. If I don't know, but not knowing what your income is, and you probably don't want to share all that business on TV. I can't say because I don't know what your income is, but I can say this: for most people, that deduction is going to come from money that would be taxed at 12%. We'll get back to that in a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
I'm sorry to call back so quick, Ken, but I forgot to ask you a question.
What?
If your income is so low that you don't even have to file taxes, what do they do about the $6,000 in that particular case?
If you don't have to file, don't worry about it, because if your income is below the filing limit, it just is not anything that you even have to think about, because you don't have to file.
Okay, just leave everything like it is. All right. Thank you, friend.
Okay, you're welcome. You know, if you're not required to file, this isn't something that you even need to worry about. What was I saying? Oh yeah, most of it for most people will come from money that's being taxed at 12%. For single filers, here I go. I'm going to get this wrong. For single filers, the 12% bracket kicks in at right about $12,000. If you're married filing jointly, the 12% bracket kicks in right around $24,000. Those are not exact numbers, but it's pretty darn close. So anyway, for most people, this will be money that would have been taxed at 12%. So for most people, the amount that it will save you on your taxes would be 12% of $12,000. And that would be $1,440 for most people. Now, I'm not saying this is you. Your situation might be different, but for most folks, married filing jointly folks, it'll reduce your taxes by $1,440 because it's $12,000 that would have been taxed at 12%. If you're a single filer, it'll be half that, about $720. Yeah, that's right. Now I'm going over all that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. So if you're married, just say if you're married filing jointly, it'll save you about $120 a month in taxes. If you're a single filer, it'll save you about $60 a month in taxes. And that's a good thing. I think everybody would agree. That's a good thing. Now, also, we need to point out that this is only if you are 65. You got to be 65 or older to get this additional deduction. So don't let me mislead anybody. All you 20-year-olds, don't be celebrating this because you got to be 65. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, Mark Median.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm glad to hear you doing okay.
I'm doing well, thanks.
Yeah, I was going to mention it last night. When I was talking about Checkers, my mom was working at Checkers last night, and she's working at night too. But a guy named Jerry Newsom that worked at Checkers, he passed away Sunday.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, they're having the viewing tonight at 6, and his funeral is tomorrow. But he used to work at Checkers or whatever.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that, and we certainly send our prayers out to the family.
Yeah, he's over at Colonial, and I was going to tell you another one that passed away. I don't know if you knew him or not. Did you know Raymond Wilson, the one owned Raymond's Car Lot in Madison?
No, I don't believe I did know him.
Yeah, he passed away the other day. And he was at Colonial today. I think they buried him today. and he was like 101 years old when he passed away.
101. Wow. What a lifetime.
Yeah, yeah, he was 101. I thought everybody knew Raymond, and they had a crowd. They had a crowd over that day because me and my mom went and signed the book for him and Jerry today at Colonial.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear about those folks passing away.
Yeah, and it was good to hear from Hillbilly or Billy, a while ago when he called in. I hope he gets a feeling better, and I'll probably send him another card.
Okay, please do. I know he'd appreciate that.
Okay. All right. Thanks again.
Well, thank you, Mark. Good to hear from you. Phone line is open at that number. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. And we've got, another 25 minutes or so for your phone calls and your email this edition of Star Talk. And I got stuff. The great book is blowing here. I mustn't let the great book come to harm. This emailer says, Ken, you said last week what the Social Security cost of living adjustment will be in January, and I forgot what it was. What's it going to be? This is just a projection. This is not official. They don't decide this officially for a few more months yet. The current projection is for the Social Security COLA in January to be 2.5%, 2.5% is the current projection. Now that could change between now and January. I doubt seriously that it would change very much, but you never know. But again, it's not official. 2.5% is the projection now, and it'll probably end up being very close to that 2.5% for your planning purposes. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken. Let me ask you a question concerning the taxes.
Okay.
So that provision they put in there, the extra 12,000, it does not affect people not filing at all.
If you don't file, if your income does not exceed the limit where you have to file, then no. Now, let's get back to this. If you do make enough money to file, and if you are 65 years old, you get the deduction, and that could put you underneath the limit, so you don't have to file. But that'd be different for different people. But if you already don't have to file, then you don't have to worry about this.
Oh, okay. All right. So, how many people you reckon it is that don't file, don't have to file?
How many people? Gosh,
how many you reckon that affect? Huh?
How many people don't have to file? I don't know. It would certainly be in the tens of millions, I would think, but I don't know really.
Well, they're saved concerning them. But look, one provision in their after school program that I thought about that they doing away with. I don't know. What did Doge do that, or is the bill cutting out the after school?
I doubt that that's a Doge thing.
Okay. All right.
That was probably part of the bill.
Part of the bill. All right. Well, one thing I thought about, Ken, now with the after that's going to place hardships on many working parents, because when kids get out at 3 and the parents get out at 5, what do they do for 2 hours after the bus put them off?
Well, that'll be that'll be up to individual families to figure that out. Obviously, it's something that they haven't had to do that they will have to do now.
Right. Yeah. All right. And one thing I was watching the TV, and I saw where down in Texas, this Mexican lady, Lorena Gilliam, she ran through the camping parking lot, knocking on all the trailers and telling them to get out of there now because the water was rising and they didn't have no warning. And all of them got out, and all of them in that particular camp were saved. So they was looking at her as being a hero.
Oh, good for
down
her.
there.
Good for
Yeah.
her. They did
Yeah.
not really. You hear different reports about this, but as I understand it, the first warning from the National Weather Service, the first seek higher ground now warning came at some point after midnight, and then there was another one 4 a.m. that was the absolutely top level warning, but it did not give people a whole lot of time. And not many people were listening to the weather radio at 4 a.m.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And look, my thing, I look at the devastation down there in Texas, and I'm telling you, I'm sure it's worse in life than it appears on TV. But I was looking at that devastation down there, Ken, and my question is, who are they going to get to do the cleanup when they deporting all the Mexicans down there in Texas, all the immigrants rather, down there in Texas? Who are they going to get to do the cleanups?
Well,
Because
I don't know how to answer that. I don't know.
Yeah, our as many in our communities, black and white, that they won't even go and work in our air-conditioned rooms. And how many people gonna get out there in the Texas heat where it get up to 110 and do that difficult, hard cleanup that they need done down there? So, if a person is working and earning a living and stay out of trouble, we need to keep them on the job, But I don't run ICE, so they make their own decision,
I mean, I don't either. And as far as who,
but that's something to
who do the
consider.
cleanup work, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, that's something to consider, don't you think?
Well, that's certainly something to consider. Now, it may be, it may be that the companies that do that kind of work, they'll be hired. I mean, I don't necessarily know that everybody who works for those companies is an immigrant who's going to be deported. I just don't know. I'm ignorant on that point.
Right. Because it's mighty slow go up there in western North Carolina.
Well, yeah, it is very slow in western North Carolina. There are a lot of people who are still not in a much better situation than they were a year ago. And of course, FEMA funding has been cut off now for western North Carolina, so they're facing some challenges.
Right. All right, Ken. Enjoy your show, and we'll continue to pray for those in the disaster. And gentlemen,
Well, thanks.
Good night.
Thanks for calling. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Ken.
Hey, hang on before you go any farther. There's an email here. There's an email here that wants to know if you are all right. Said, didn't see Mr. Draper in his boat on Friday. I hope he's okay. You are okay, right?
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
Okay. I guess.
If we're speaking mentally, that's a matter of opinion.
Well,
if we're speaking physically, that's another opinion too.
Well, the mental part is kind of complicated. I'm not going to get into that.
Right. I don't try to get into it either. It's above me.
All right. Well,
on top of my head.
Pardon the
Yeah,
interruption.
I'm relatively normal, but the COPD when the air quality. Yesterday was 79. That's really high. I don't breathe good when it's up high like that, and it's been that way most of this week. Down in the 30s and 20s, I breathe real good, a whole lot better. Everybody does that has COPD, and so that's been making me work slow. I only worked 4 hours out in the heat today, and I was falling around. It seemed like I said, "Golly, I gotta quit before I do fall."
Well, don't overdo it.
Well, I try. I pace myself. I got a chair and I got a big old squirrel cage fan that come out of a central heating unit, and I keep it plugged in, blowing on me. And I'm in the shaft to wait till the shade gets on before I go out there and work. And it's about 10-degree difference in the shade.
How much?
About 10 degrees.
Oh, really? Well, that's significant.
Yeah, in my shade, I've got a laser temperature gun. I can shoot it on the ground in the sun, and it'll go up to about 127, 30 degrees. Go over to the shade, and it'll show 88.
All right. Good deal. Stay in the shade.
Yeah. That's what I do. It don't get out there till about 1:30, though. The shade gets there about 1:30, and that's when I'll head out there and turn that fan on first thing I do. I got a big shop fan. It's almost 4 foot thick, 4 foot tall, and I can bring it out there, and it'll blow a lot of good wind.
All right. Well,
for 2 or 3 people, but it'll spread it out. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so I'm gonna pick my driver this week.
Okay. Who you got?
Now I want you to write it down, whomever I'm going to choose. Okay?
I'm writing it. I'm ready to write.
Because it ain't gonna matter in no way, what shape, form, or fashion.
Okay. Who is it?
I want Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. Well, now the last time I saw Ricky Bobby on a track, he was running. I don't think he's going to do well running. Now you're gonna have to tell somebody who Ricky Bobby is. Not everybody's going to get that.
Well, people our age should.
Well, our age should. But not everybody is culturally immersed enough to know who Ricky Bobby is. Folks, there was a movie, Talladega Nights, with Will Ferrell, and that's Ricky Bobby.
That was so funny. So that's my pick for this week.
All right, it's in the book.
Oh my goodness. Hey, I went out there today. I think I worked 4 hours on my boat. I changed that prop on the back of it. I took that 8-blade turbo hub deal off and put the 10-blade back on it.
Oh yeah.
And I got the hub on and all 10 blades in it. And that's 40 bolts and 80 washers and 40 nuts you got to tighten up. And then you got to set the pitch on every blade, and you got to pull the engine around with each blade and set the pitch. Got to be completely level. The engine's got to be 100% level, so the prop is level with the engine and all of that.
All right.
When you
a question, I got a question.
Okay.
When you take off the 8-blade and you put on the 10-blade, how much additional thrust do you get with those 2 extra blades?
That's why I'm taking the 8-blade off. I thought the turbo hub may give me more pitch in the blades and less blades will give you more thrust.
Right.
The pitch. Okay, well, I found that's what they always say. I found out that didn't seem to work so well with me. This 8-blade, I even put 13 degree in the front blades and 16 in the rear blades degree. Most you can go is 20. And I was still not going on dry land in my yard like it should. So I said, well, the heck with this. I remember 23 years ago why I took it off the boat then. I got frustrated with it and couldn't make it work right back then. I mean, it worked good for somebody who don't have the engine I got. But I got too much engine for 8 blades. I need 10.
All right.
A stock 350 will turn 6 blades on about 7 degrees. Well, my 350's got 10 blades on 13 degrees. So
That's a big difference.
It's a little difference in stock and the build.
Okay. So are those
Anyway.
So when you get that change, can you give me do you have 10% more thrust, 20% more thrust? About how much is it?
I'm going to say about between 15 and 20.
Okay. Well, that's a lot.
Because that crop would shoot me out across the yard. I mean, I couldn't hold the gas at all to blow the leaves out of my yard. Just fly around the yard, and enjoy it. And now it's like the boat's struggling to go across do the same thing. It ain't struggling the engine. It's just all those holes on the bottom, and I had to make round.
Yeah.
Which I've got all that done, so I've got to put it back on the ground and try it after I set the pitch in the prop.
There's a lot of science involved in this.
Yes, and then when I put it in the water, I got to make sure if it's sucked to the water, I got to put a jack in it, which I've got a jack already made. I just got to bolt it in, and that pushes the bottom down in the middle and makes it a little more rounded so that you don't have so much flat that it's sucked to the water, just stuck up to it.
Are we going to see this boat on the Dan River this year?
Yes. Come. Hades or high water.
Okay.
I done made up my mind. There's enough time. If I don't do it, I'm going to die.
All right. Well, let us know. We don't want to miss it.
I will. And I appreciate the people that was concerned about me and my medicine and why I wasn't there and all of that. I really do. I wanted to be, Ken, but if my boat had been sitting under them oak trees, it's so nasty. It needs pressure wash so bad.
Okay.
Excuse me. And I up enough to do it all and, just to get it ready. I got it on the trailer and all, but I couldn't. I got a bad shoulder messed up and pulled muscle in the other arm, so I just couldn't do any more.
Well, maybe we'll see you in a Christmas parade, maybe.
I plan to do that, and then I'll still call Charles. He still wants to video it and all and do all of that, so maybe it'll be on TV.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Okay.
Good night.
I thank them for their.
Oops. I didn't mean to hang up on him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hang up on you that quick. I thought you were done, and the button got pushed. Mr. Draper has Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Mr. Eccles. How are you tonight?
Hello. How are you?
All right. Got a couple things I've been thinking about I wanted to mention to you, see what you thought about.
Okay.
I got a few things here just kind of been on my mind. 2 of them were from the big, beautiful bill. Now, we talked last time that they had that AI provision in, and they took that out.
Yes, they did.
So the states are free to make laws, as many laws about AI as they want to, regulate it.
Yep, 50 different states. It's going to be really complicated.
It's going to be pretty difficult. That's exactly right. All right. So I'm sure more to come on that. Now, here's another interesting thing that they put in the bill that nobody is talking about, and does not affect. I'd say it affects a lot more people but the end result is that a lot of people won't truly be affected. So, long story short, they slipped in a gambling tax provision that now only allows you to, when you report your losses, you can only claim 90% of your losses.
I didn't know that.
That's exactly right. So professional gamblers specifically will be hit by this hard. But, someone that, say, is not a professional gambler that just happens to hit a large sum, at the casino, so they win $30,000. They will be impacted as well, because now say if you won $100,000, but you lost that $100,000 back, you're still going to have to pay taxes on $10,000.
Okay, I didn't
even
know
though
that,
you're not
but
profitable.
as you say, I haven't heard anybody talking about that. So that's news to me. I wonder what was the rationale for that?
No clue. It came in so late, and there was certainly not time enough for anybody to organize and complain about it. But the professional gamblers are the ones who obviously are affected and understand this. So it's all over their message boards and their YouTubes and everything like that. And
do you know who introduced that?
I do not. I don't know. All I know is there's a pro poker player that went into depth explaining, and I can't remember if he brought up the guy's name or not. If he did, it was somebody I didn't know. But he was trying to get information on it as well. They're all trying to figure out exactly what they had the exact language on there. But regardless, it was part of that midnight hour bargaining. And it got, and what they're thinking obviously is that somebody just agreed to let this go through, not truly understanding the ramifications. That's the thing. Most of them don't really understand the ramifications of it. It just sounds like an additional tax from gambling,
And especially when they're in a situation, and this happens all the time, when they're in a situation where there's a deadline to pass a bill and amendments are coming and going, and nobody can keep up with everything. They can't do it.
Well, I'm quite sure this will end up becoming much more of a story in the coming months. But it is pretty interesting. But somebody, like I say, somebody that wins a good sum from the slot machine or something at the Caesars is about to get a rude awakening come tax time.
I wonder what the position is of the casino industry on that. Have they been heard from?
Again, you're talking about something that occurred last week and got slipped in at the very end. I'm sure that they do have a position, and I assume they probably don't like it, but I don't think that they've even had time to start officially, have their official position or anything. I think this thing is just took everybody by surprise.
Well, took me by surprise. That's for sure.
Okay. I'll try to find out some more specifics and see what I can get to you. But I'm pretty comfortable in saying this. The guy that I watch he's not just some random guy. He's very much in the business. He owns poker rooms in Texas. He's very much one of these guys that are affected by this, and the information that he had, I'm pretty sure is pretty solid.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'll see what I can find out about that. I'd be very interested in knowing who added that, who introduced that, and what the reasoning was behind it.
Well, you've got another show tomorrow, so I'll see what I can find out and give you a ring tomorrow.
Okay, good. Thanks.
All right, and I'm going to ask you this, and I'll hang up and listen to you. But I'd like to know, I watched the end of that race Sunday, and it just was amazing how that SVG is so good on that track.
Isn't it? It's crazy.
It's just the last. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. In your opinion, and I'll hang up the list of this, but in your opinion, what is the most dominant driver in the past on a track? And mine, I would say, would be Bobby Labonte in Atlanta.
Yeah, that one absolutely comes to mind. There was a time when Denny Hamlin was pretty stout at Darlington, although not quite so much anymore. And Jeff Gordon used to do real well at Martinsville. But I don't think any of those would exceed Labonte in Atlanta.
Yeah, well, SVG's giving him a run for his money if they stay at Chicago, I guess.
Oh, that's crazy. That's just uncanny how he has dominated that place twice.
And they said he had some issues. Said his car wasn't even as good as it could be.
Oh yeah, he wasn't happy. I mean, he was happy and he went, but he was saying he wasn't entirely satisfied with his car. He thought there was room for improvement. I don't know how much better he could have made it.
Well, I'm gonna hang up. See if you have time for another caller here. Thank you so much, Mr. Eccles.
Thanks for calling. You know, it must be Chicago, the street race in Chicago. It must be really similar to some track that he has driven on a lot somewhere in the world, because it's just crazy how much better he is on the streets of Chicago than everybody else. And we're talking about guys who are good racers, good road racers. But he just, it's no, well, if you saw the race, you know what he did. And it really is uncanny. I better check the time here. And we're almost out of time, and we got another email to be read. And let's see what it says. Ken, speaking of Medicare, which I don't remember that we were speaking of Medicare, but never mind that. Well, let's answer the phone here and see who this is. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Hello? Hello? All right. Well, we will speak. Speaking of Medicare, I read today that the Trump administration is going to introduce prior authorization into traditional Medicare, which is something that we haven't had to worry about in Medicare anymore. How much do you know about that? Just a little bit. Next year in 6 states, and I don't think I can name the 6. North Carolina is not one of them, and Virginia is not one of them, so I can't tell you that much. But in 6 states next year, Medicare will begin experimenting with prior authorization just to see how it works. That, of course, is when, you know, your doctor says, well, you need this test, or your doctor says you need this procedure, and then they have to call the insurance company to decide whether the insurance company agrees that you need that test or you need that procedure. Now, that's something that's been part of Medicare Advantage. If you have a Part C Medicare Advantage plan, you've probably experienced prior authorization along the way. It has not been part of traditional Medicare. But again, this is next year. It will be in 6 states. And the government is going to see how it works. Prior authorization, and depending on how it works, then it will either expand and become part of Medicare, or it won't. And obviously, we don't know the answer to that right now. I know that Oklahoma is one of the states. I think Ohio. I'm not going to try to name all 6 of them because I'll get it wrong. But again, the main thing we'd be interested in parts is it's not North Carolina and Virginia are not included in this initial program. And that's all the time we have for Star Talk tonight. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Eccles.